Hi, everybody. I'm Krista Fancher. I've worked in Innovation Diploma for 4 years.
And I'm Emily Wilcox, and this is my third year working in Innovation Diploma.
Today, we're just going to run you through, if you missed the 8th grade parent meeting, we're going to run through these slides pretty quickly and just give you an overview of Innovation Diploma. So Innovation Diploma is the special 4-year experience for students. The first 2 years are the onboarding. We'll talk more about that in a minute. And then the last 2 years are where the students get to partner with local businesses and solve problems for them. And it's a really exciting, impactful way to teach and learn. And we're excited to tell you more.
So, when our students graduate from Innovation Diploma, there is a separate diploma piece. It's called an Innovation Portfolio, and this is a sample of what a senior's innovation portfolio might look like. This is Mary. She's graduating this year. And as you can see from her portfolio, she's been able to work with Fortune 100 brands such as Mercedes-Benz, and she's also gotten to help out smaller local companies. She also has led a lot, and she led an in-house design project called Future of. We'll touch more on that later. But Mary really got to explore a lot of different sectors, got to sharpen her leadership skills, and we feel confident sending Mary off to college, knowing that she knows what she loves and she's a great leader.
So let's just touch real quickly on the ID application process. Every current Mount Vernon 8th grader has received the Innovation Diploma application in their Altitude Learning inbox. The first question is, are you interested in applying? And they can either answer yes, definitely, or no, thank you. And if it's a no, thank you, we just process the card and get it out of their playlist right away. But if they indicate they are interested and they clicked yes, then they have until February 13th to get that in. Then we go through a series of, it's not just the application that we consider. We have rounds of interviews. We have a group project that we like to see how they collaborate. And then we will begin to make the first round of decisions sometime in March. We'll select a certain number, and then we will have a true wait list. The reason we do that is we want people who apply from outside of Mount Vernon to also have the chance to apply to the program. And so the final cohort will be built out in late April or early May. If your child is included in the program, you will receive notice of deposit at the same time that you make your Mount Vernon tuition deposit. The cost of the program is $4,470 a year. If you receive financial aid, the same percentage of financial aid will be applied to your Innovation Diploma tuition as well. After that, one of our wonderful college counselors and one of the ID team will meet with your child for academic advising and will set up their freshman schedule. We'll talk about schedules more in a minute. And then they're ready for freshman onboarding, which begins the first day of school and takes them through that whole freshman year. So people are always asking us what type of student is right for ID? And it's a great question, but it's a really complex answer. We have all kinds of students in the program, from athletes, musicians, artists, STEM kids, kids who love to write and read. There is no one particular type. We have quiet kids, loud kids, introverts, and extroverts. A great mix of people to work with. But there are certain tenets of the program that we found really show up in all aspects of our work. And probably the number one thing is collaboration. Most of our work is group projects. We value collaboration over individual achievement, and we want kids to be natural collaborators. Wilcox always likes to say that life is a group project, and she's not wrong.
Another thing we really value in Innovation Diploma is multidisciplinary learning over specialization. One thing you'll find when you look at our courses and hear some of our stories is that we like to see different ways that the disciplines can interact. It's a lot more realistic and it's a lot more reflective of life outside of school. So our science courses work with our humanities courses, our science courses work with our design courses, and our maker design and engineering courses work with all of our courses. We just love to find unexpected ways for the disciplines to interact so that our students have the strongest experience possible.
We encourage our students to take risks, try things, and we believe that's one of the best ways to learn is trial and error. Try something, make it better, try it again, make it better. And we encourage our students to take risks, try things. We don't want them to hesitate because they're worried about a grade.
We also value creating over consuming. We are trying to graduate a lot of ethical world citizens. We want students who create more than they take, who give back to their communities, who develop new solutions, who come up with new ideas. So we really value placing an emphasis on that rather than just consuming.
We have a lot of fun in Innovation Diploma. The kids learn really quickly that while we have fun and we can be silly, we really take the work extremely seriously. That is something that we hope they adopt as well. To work hard, play hard is kind of part of our culture. We also want to help them find their passion and their purpose while they're in high school.
So, like we said, there's not just one student who is successful in Innovation Diploma. And so we can't tell you exactly what student we're looking for. But what we can tell you is a little bit about who we are and a little bit about who our students are, just so you can feel out if your student is the right fit. So, we are a collection of the insatiably curious. Our students have a lot of questions. They are passionate in their pursuit of the answers to these questions. And our students are profoundly optimistic. They talk a lot about designing a better world, and they know that they can design a better world. So our students see the good and they chase the good. Our students are deeply empathetic. They care about others. They have a heart for service. At its core, design thinking, which is what our program is really rooted in, is just people centered problem solving. And you can't do that without being empathetic. So our students care for others and want to serve them and want to help them. They're also biased towards action. We have a lot of students that are activated to get started on their work. Rather than sitting back and waiting for specific instruction or specific permission, we have go getters that are jumping in, ready to get started, ready to go, and are just activated to take risks and try new things.
Yeah, another thing that I always think about with that bias toward action is that if a paradigm shift for freshmen is if they're not sure what to do, they might have a notion that they need to hesitate and get clarification. We would much rather them jump in with both feet and do something wrong than do nothing at all. And that's a refrain that they hear throughout their freshman year. So at this point, ID makes up 30% of the upper school. It's growing all the time. It started with 11 students, I think 9 years ago, 15,
15. Mhm.
15, yeah. And has grown every year. At that time, it was an elective. And so it's grown from just an elective with 15 kids into this robust 4 year experience that is just really changing the path of education.
Something else really special about Innovation Diploma is this concept of transformational mentorship. So we are bigger than our roots of 15 students. We've got over 130 students currently in Innovation Diploma, but we're still a small program. We've got a small staff of dedicated teachers who work in Innovation Diploma and design the courses. Something really, really fun about that is how well we get to know each student. I can think of every single member of our graduating class 2023 and could tell you a lot about every single kid. We get to know them well. We know their stories, we know their passions, their interests. We get to watch them grow up and discover what they love. And it's really beautiful. It's certainly one of my favorite parts of the program.
So real quickly, you're probably wondering what would your child's course schedule look like if they're in Innovation Diploma versus if they're not. So this is a look at what every student takes. Every ninth and 10th grader will take humanities, then they'll have their math and their sciences in the first 2 years. And on the right-hand side is everything else you need to graduate. So that is everyone inside and out of ID. Now, if we look at the next slide, you can see in their first 2 years, the ninth grade and the 10th grade column, we will teach them humanities, have their chemistry, we have their fine arts, and their MDE, maker design and engineering classes. One thing we do differently than the rest of the school is we do chemistry in ninth grade. We flipped chemistry and biology, and we found that that's really important for the work we do, having that basis in chemistry. So in humanities, humanities at Mount Vernon in general is done differently. It's a lot of project work and different ways to engage. ID kind of ramps that up a little bit, and we start off the year with a class called Design for Good. That is the true freshman onboarding class. There is a lot of ID culture building. They learn about the tools, how to solve ambiguous problems, how to write a really nice professional email that doesn't waste anyone's time. We do a lot of that groundwork. All of our humanities classes still have a lot of reading and writing and history. I think sometimes people question, will I still get that if I'm getting this rich professional writing? But we make a point to emphasize professional writing and academic writing, believing that they both have a place. And it's really actually a nice tool and kind of important for students to know the difference and when to put those into practice. Um, on the picture on the left is our second humanities course for freshmen. It's called Writing for the World. And it's the first time we really get to hand the keys over to the project work and let them run it. And they love having that freedom. They research global conflicts, they pitch it to the class, and in short, they produce a podcast on that. So instead of me giving them a paper multiple choice test or anything like that, at the end of each show cycle, they have to stand in front of a microphone and speak intelligently about what they know. And it turns out that is a better motivator than any test I could give them.
We also love to do science differently in Innovation Diploma. So our science is really experiential, really hands-on, and as we like to say, we're really doing science. Our students get to go out into the woods and learn about what plants can make medicine and how plants can help us in our day-to-day life. Our students get to contribute to a real biomedical engineering journal that's peer-reviewed. Our science students learn chemistry through molecular gastronomy. It's all very hands-on, very real world, very, very project based. So, our Innovation Diploma Connections courses are graphic design, live event production, social entrepreneurship, and then the maker design and engineering courses. Something I like to emphasize about ID Connections is one of my personal philosophies, which is if you give a kid a piece of paper and some markers, they can make you a great poster, they can make you a great drawing. But if you give the kids industry standard schools like the full Adobe suite, which is what we give all of our Innovation Diploma students, they're actually able to make things that can stand up against work the professionals do. The work that our students do in ID Connections, specifically graphic design, often surpass those of industry experts or people who've been doing graphic design for a really long time. So we love to equip our students with industry standard skills and industry standard tools to be able to do really awesome work.
It's kind of one of the ways we're able to turn heads when these kids present their work in such a professional way. People are often surprised that they can produce such high quality work.
One really awesome story that we have from the ninth and 10th grade years at Innovation Diploma is for our current juniors. When they were sophomores, they were tasked with coming up with a putt putt course for our homecoming football game. It's a big, if y'all were there, it's a big day for our community. Everyone comes together for the game. And our sophomores actually designed and built a whole putt putt course for the community to use. So they did a lot of research on what makes a good putt putt course, what materials to use, how can you make them weight bearing, where do you get the putt putt grass, and then they built this course that was a really beautiful thing for our community. It was awesome to watch people use what they had built, and see people love what our students had done.
When I think of this project, I often think of another important piece of the culture of Innovation Diploma, and that is that kids build a sense of we will do what we have to do to get this job done. This project was a lot of work, as you could imagine. And so we had students asking to come in before school, after school, asking us if they could come in and work on it, and asking their maker teacher if they could come in during lunch, grab their lunch and come up. And that's the kind of motivation that we really value of kids that are like, if I have to come on a weekend, I'll come on a weekend. I need to do what I have to do to get the job done.
Mm-hmm. So that takes us to talking about the signature experience of ID, which are design briefs. Design briefs are a consulting relationship between our upperclassmen and external clients. We've been really lucky to work with some incredible organizations, from Fortune 100 companies all the way to local businesses and startups. So you'll see here an example of some of the different places we've worked with: the CDC, Chick-fil-A, Delta, Center for Civil and Human Rights, lots of names that you'll recognize.
So students always love to get the big name briefs that everyone knows, the household names. But what we found too is there's such a good lesson in being able to work with a startup or a nonprofit and the difference between the pace at which big companies and small companies move. There's a lot of teachable moments within each brief, and they all vary greatly.
In Mod 2, we pivot in our design briefs to something more internal, and we call it the future of project. And that's where we give our kids a provocation, design the future of. So last year they designed the future of retail. This year they designed the future of food. And that's really all we give them. It's ambiguous on purpose. It's just a jumping point for them. And each group comes up with a wildly different design for what they think the future of food or retail is based on a lot of work. So we do site visits, we talk to industry experts, we hold focus groups. So our students do a lot of ethnography work to be able to come up with these designs. If you've been to the Winter Art Showcase on the third floor, you might have seen some of these learning studios our students have transformed based on their research and iterations and their feedback. And it's a really awesome moment for our students to show a different type of work they can do. This was born out of the pandemic when organizations were giving design briefs a lot of marketing, a lot of social media marketing, digital marketing, which is really awesome work. But we wanted to kind of get back to our roots of experiential and user design. And the future of project is where our students really show what they can do with that.
So one of the questions we get, and you're probably wondering at this point, is how do colleges look at this program? What do they think when they see a student that has invested so much time in this experience? And it's a multi-layered answer, but one of the things that we found is these kids have a very unique story to tell. They've been able to do things in high school that is something that high school kids don't often get to do. Not only that, but they can speak about it eloquently anytime, anywhere, to anyone. That's one of the first things I noticed when I came to the program was how well spoken they were and how passionate they were about the work. Colleges understand that. We also have a pretty good reputation with the colleges, and the admissions officers know when they see us what the students have been doing. We have a great list here. I won't go through this, but take the time to pause and take a look if you're curious. Our students generally get into their choice of college. And one of the interesting things about our students is they very often, not always, but often know what they want to pursue in college because of the experiences they've had in Innovation Diploma. They've been able to work with healthcare, finance, business, marketing, all these different avenues. We've had psychology. And it really, you see a spark go on for different students at different times in the work. So this it speaks for itself, but it's something we really believe. We really believe that we are building a new model of education. I often say that a lot of schools are trying to do this innovative work now, but we're 9 years into this program, and we really believe that we're doing something special that makes traditional education obsolete. I stand by it and would love to answer more questions about it if you have it. Feel free to email us, and we'll be happy to answer more.
We've been so delighted to share Innovation Diploma with you through this video. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. And like Vanter said, if you have any questions, let us know. We love to talk about it. Thanks, y'all.